Welcome back to Edgework, part of the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. I'm Zack Phillips, joined by Alex Moretto, and luckily, somehow out of nowhere, Matt Alber. His headphones weren't working. We had an echo cancellation, and he has no idea who's playing today. But nonetheless, he made it. Alber, I'm glad to see you alive and well.
Happy to be alive and better as well.
The sad thing is now Albert has an excuse for the Kleenexes on his nightstand and lotion. Now we won't actually know why they're there, because maybe it's because he was sick, maybe not.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
Wow.
This is maybe the cleanest I've seen that place there, Albert.
I've very much learned by now. Any day I'm on the show, you got to get rid of that stuff before it starts. So yeah, that's part of the new morning, the morning routine after getting out of bed. That's like the first thing I do is get rid of all those.
Well, lucky for you, as everyone knows, hockey. No, I'm just kidding. Hockey season is in full swing, and with FanDuel, you can turn a little hunch into a true power play. FanDuel has the hottest same-game parlays found on the Parlay Hub. Lace them up and follow your bets with player prop tracking or bet on the fly with the Pulse. Make every NHL watching experience more with FanDuel, North America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Just place any $5 bet and you'll get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Please play responsibly. You must be 19 plus, physically located in Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-866-531-2600. That's 1-866-531-2600. Visit connectsontario.ca. There we go. How do we feel about that one, boys? Hockey season no longer back. It's in full swing.
I'm glad that after 8 weeks we got a new read there, so it's no longer back. We're in full swing, unless you're the Rangers, in which case it's still the off season, I think.
Oof.
Apparently we had full, like, we were able to change the read whenever we wanted and change the wording up, but we just didn't know that. So we've just been rocking with the hockey is back, and I'm just like, hey guys, can we get a new read? And FanDuel, they're like, yeah, just change up whatever like you want. It's fine as long as like the messaging is there. Doesn't really matter how you deliver it. I'm like, cool.
I saw the messages yesterday and I was like, no fucking way. You guys kidding me? Every morning we come on here to do the show and I was just like, this is not real. This is not real. Peter Panic says, unbelievable that Hit the Books has more viewers than this show. Agreed. Can't believe that. Yeah, that's why you got to hit the like button, subscribe, repost, whatever it is. Tell people, tell your friends. Even if you don't like hockey, maybe you just want to learn, or you don't like betting on, I don't even know. If you just like money, maybe this is the spot to come. We have been winning here on the show for 3 years now here, so hopefully we can continue that this season, and we will start here today with the Bruins and Blackhawks. Chicago plus 128, Boston minus 154, total of 5.5, minus 104, minus 118. Moretto, this is one of those ones where, like, yesterday I talked about, I can't even remember what game it was, but I looked and I was like, ooh, that seems light right off the bat. I think it was Colorado Buffalo, and obviously there's a lot of stuff that gets taken into account. These are shaped up, people are betting into them, betting news, information, whatever. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But minus 154 on Boston here still seems light against the Blackhawks.
So taking a bit of a different approach here, I'm actually on the Blackhawks in this game. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does seem light to some, but I don't know. I feel like for me right now, this is a little bit too much respect for Boston, given the situation and everything. They're playing here on a back-to-back, obviously. After that game that went into overtime last night, they played, pretty late into the night there, and then had to come over to Chicago. And honestly, they've looked kind of like shit. The new coach bump has sort of worn off, and like the underlying numbers have been ugly. They're still winning games, granted, but like they're not looking good in doing so. They were bailed out by a terrible Caden Primo game the other night. Just running into some sort of bad goaltending and stuff like that. But they're very much playing above their heads right now, just based on how these underlying numbers have looked. I think they need a real coach in there. Like Sacco is clearly just like there as the interim, but he's not the answer for this team long term. I think they need to go out and hire a real coach now, like maybe someone like Quenneville. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think Chicago, we've seen a lot more life from them now over the last week or two. Bedard looks like he's kind of found some confidence again, found a bit of a rhythm. They have some good chemistry going on those lines. Like they're getting some secondary scoring for the first time in a while. they're sort of coming to life. Mrazek's been good. They deserved much better the other night against the Leafs. They carried that game at 5-on-5 for large stretches. Just couldn't quite get the goals, couldn't quite get the bounces, but like they're playing better. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them, and I think this is a really tough spot for Boston here. So yeah, give me the Blackhawks plus 130 or better in this original six rivalry.
Okay, so we've got Blackhawks plus 130 first bet of the day. Obviously, everything you just outlined there makes sense here, Moretto, for this game. It's just like one of those ones where every time I look at it, it's like Boston, Chicago. This one seems strange seeing a number like that, but
yeah,
it makes
totally
sense.
fair.
Makes sense. Alber, where are you at on this game? Do you have anything to add for us?
Yeah, I think the one thing that's kind of keeping me off this is I do expect Swayman to turn it around at some point here. Like Korpisalo has been pretty clearly the better goalie so far this year. I just don't really expect that to continue to last. So I think the number is probably about right. But I certainly agree. It'd be Chicago or nothing. I think the total's in line too. Like I'm not looking to lay under 5.5 minus 110, 115 here.
Okay, let's go now. Next game on the schedule, that one, first one, and we will obviously we will give out or recap all the best bets that we've seen throughout the show here today over on the BetStamp app as Edgework HQ at the end of the show. But next up on the schedule here, we've got the Nashville Predators and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nashville plus 138, the Leafs minus 166, 5.5 total, minus 118 over, minus 104 under. Albert, how are you breaking this one down tonight?
I think we need the Leafs fan take. Is this the game that they just come in and just don't even show up and lose 4-1 and just look like they don't even give a crap? Is this the game for that?
I don't know. Moretto is going to be watching everything I say here carefully, but like, I don't really know because the thing is like that game was Monday against Chicago. Like they were not very good and they found a way to win 4-1. So this feels more like those leafy games, like what you just outlined, are closer to the middle than they are the extreme to the oh my god that was terrible, if that makes sense. Where like they might stink to join out against Nashville tonight, but they don't get pumped 4-1, 5-1. Like that they'll lose like 4-2 if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of thing that it feels like now, where it's like that extreme side of things has been kind of taken away.
Yeah, I mean, as far as this number goes, like the reason I asked that, like, there's no way I'm laying minus 160 at Toronto here. So like, it's definitely, it's definitely Nashville or nothing kind of at this point. I just don't know if I really want to do it. Yeah, you can laugh at me. I see the comment in the chat asking if the Leafs are going to pull the Rangers. I mean, we don't need to get into that. Like, there's so many problems with this team right now. Like, it's just, it is a train wreck. The one thing I will say is I saw what Moretto said about it yesterday, like that they need a massive move. There's no massive move coming now. Like, there's not. They're not firing Laviolette. It's like Chris Drury's not going anywhere. They're not getting rid of Trouba. They're not getting rid of Kreider. Like, all that. We're getting on a tangent real quick. But, like, there is no massive move coming for the Rangers. That said, go back to the Leafs game. Like, I don't have anything here, but for me, it's Nashville or nothing.
Okay. Moretto, do you at least agree with my assessment or see what I'm saying about the Leafs this season so far, other than really that game against Ottawa?
Yes, no, I do see what you're saying. I do want to. We can get into the Leafs in a second because I do want to talk a little bit about the Leafs and like how maybe I want to bet against them a little bit going forward. But like just on the other side of this, because there are two teams in this game, and we haven't really talked about the Preds at all. Mm-hmm. This is I don't know. Like I don't know what's going to happen there because they just cannot pull themselves off the mat right now. Like they've lost 8 of their last 10, 13 of the last 17. Like nothing they're doing is working. They're just now riding Saros into the ground because they're kind of like out of answers and just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what happens, hoping for the best. Like he started 15 of their last 17 games. That's insane. Like that's such a crazy workload for a guy who's typically had a busy workload like every year in Nashville. He's playing a lot of hockey. Like that's kind of catching up to him. You're seeing like he's playing well again after like a rougher start to the year, but like you can't keep trotting him out there every night. And now Wedgwood, who was providing some decent backup work, is now gone. And now they've got a Noonan in there who is like, I like a Noonan, but he's super erratic and volatile. You don't know what you're going to expect from him basically every single night. So I feel like they're going to lean even harder into this. It's really tough. Like, I'm not sure who's going to start tonight. I imagine it's Saros, even though he started like 8 in a row or something like that. But it is a back-to-back, so I think we'll probably get a Noonan tomorrow. Just hard to trust the Preds right now. Like, they've been better than their record for sure, but they can't score goals. They're 0-16 when they score 2 or less goals. Like, I don't know what's more insane, the fact they're 0-16 when they score 2 or less goals, or the fact that they've scored 2 or less goals in 16 of 25 games this year. Like, that's fucking nuts. They cannot put the puck in the net, and that's what they went out to try and solve this offseason. It just has not worked at all for them. So, yeah, when they score 3 or more, they're 7-2, but they've won 7 straight. So, like, this is not necessarily the spot where I want to fade the Leafs, because I want to fade them with a team that I think can score goals. And I don't think the Preds are obviously that team. Like, they just have not shown an ability to win these tighter, closer games. And this should be a tighter, closer game where I think, 2 goals for the Preds seems right. Maybe a 3-2 Leafs win, maybe an empty net or a 4-2. So, yeah, nothing for me total or side. If we did get a surprise and Noonan start, I'd probably jump in on it over. But I'm not looking to bet this. Like, right now, the Leafs are getting the bounces, they're getting the goaltending, but there's a lot of signs that, like, I think that things can crack a little bit. They were lucky to beat Tampa the other night. They weren't good against the Hawks. Like, you look at, they're 8-2 in their last 10, but just a 46% expected goal share, 5-on-5 over that, right? They're 28th in the league. Yep. So, like, there is going to be some times to bet against them going forward. I think Friday, maybe a little teaser for Friday's show. Friday, they're at home to the Caps. I think that could be a good spot depending on what the price is there, but I don't think this is one of them.
All right. So stay off that one. Next up, Dallas Stars, LA Kings. Dallas with some big news this morning. Tyler Seguin's going to miss 4 to 6 months after undergoing surgery there. He is currently -1, or Dallas is -120. The LA Kings plus 100. 5.5 total here yet again, -118. Over -104. Under. Moretto, how are you feeling on this one with the LA Kings and the Starettos?
So I have no bets in this game. I do have one in the last game, but for this one, I got nothing. I know we don't have a ton of time today, so we'll keep it shorter. I'm looking forward to watching this game. 2 teams I'm super high on. I really like Dallas, obviously. I really like the Kings. I think both of these teams have a pretty high ceiling going forward this year. So I'm just going to kind of sit back and enjoy this one. If anything, I would lean towards an over at some of the 5.5s that are still out there in market. But, like, again, this is one of those games that could play out, in many different ways. And I like both these teams. I like what they both bring to the table. So I'm going to stay off this one side or total. And just to address the Seguin stuff, sucks for Seguin because he's been having a really nice start to the year, over a point per game. He's really, really looked good. But, like, he's also been playing through this injury. And there's, like, been talk about the load management, and he can't play back-to-backs and stuff like that, which is very NBA-esque. But, like, obviously not healthy. I think this makes the most sense for them and the team where, like, get him the surgery now. He's out 4 to 6 months. He'll be back for playoffs. Throw him on LTIR. Go out there and address your defense and go bring in someone who can round out that top 4. Like, you clear out the cap space. I think this is, like, long-term, this is the best case scenario for the Stars where, I mean, it's not going to reflect any, like, changes in pricing for them in the futures market or anything like that. But, like, this just makes me want to get even more in on Stars futures right now. Just the fact that I think that this is going to give them some real flexibility at the deadline and stuff.
Rich there says seg in is seg out. Nice. Albert, do you have anything in this game for us? Did you even know this game was going on tonight?
Yeah, I did. I pulled it up on the bet stand up, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have nothing here. I do agree with a lot of that. All the Seguin stuff I agree with. Like, there's no reason not to do it. Like, Vegas has done this how many times? Like, Tampa did it. Like, everyone's going to do it. So, you know what? If you're allowed to, you may as well do the same.
Yep.
Clear room for a top 4 defenseman. I think Jacob Trouba might be available if that happens. So
we said top 4.
That's a possibility. As far as this game goes, like, this is kind of a role that I first thought, like, maybe I'd bet the Kings in, but you kind of take a look, and they're allowing nothing to anyone right now. You take a look at who they've played over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it's been an abysmal slate of teams. Like, they're not playing many teams that can generate offense at all. So this is kind of like a really big step up based on the teams that they've played lately. So it is a game I'm definitely excited to watch, not a game I'm trying to bet.
Vegas, Anaheim. Last game of the night. The Golden Knights -170. The Ducks +140. 6.5 on the total, -102. Over, -120. under right now. I'm going to let the Undertaker take the lead in this one. I have a feeling I know where this one might be going, but Moretto, what bet do you have in this game?
So I have a feeling that your feelings today are off because I am. I'm guessing you're thinking that I'm going total here, maybe an over or something like
Yeah.
that. But like,
was
yeah,
my
no,
prediction.
I'm on the Ducks. Quack quack. This is this is a spot where I've been wanting to fade Vegas. I think this is a really good spot for it. We're coming off that like very, very big game last night against Edmonton, where that was a pretty grueling. Like I watched a lot of that game. That was a tough, physical, hard game. They were basically got that early lead and just clung to it and kind of hung on for dear life late. Aiden Hill was fantastic. But again, another game where Vegas is just getting caved in at 5-on-5, and they have not looked good. I'm just not in on this team at all right now. Like their performances have been so ugly for the most part. And when you have Aiden Hill playing at the level he was playing at last night, you can get away with those games. That's fine. But when you have Ilya Samsonov, who's been a bit of a train wreck behind you, you can't really get away with those performances. Ducks have been playing a lot better. They found their offense. Their defense has been shored up a little bit. They've schedule has gotten a bit tougher, and they've been up to the task. Like they've played really well against some good teams. Like against the Kings, against the Stars, against Vegas again, so like against Minnesota, they've been fine. I like what I've seen from them. This is doesn't matter who starts here. Dostal and Gibson have both been very good. I'd obviously prefer Dostal, but like Gibson's been great. I'm not in on Vegas, and I think this is a good number and good spot to bet against them.
We need a meme of Moretto giving the George Bush Pool speech inside T-Mobile. That would be something good to have here for us. Alber, actually, before I even ask you about this game, I'm locking this one in at plus 140 here. Ducks money line for us here tonight, courtesy of Moretto. Alber, are you familiar with the
140 is fine, just for the thing. 140 is fine, but if you guys shop around, you will get better than that.
Yeah. Yes. Alber, are you familiar with the George Bush "fool me once, fool me you can't fool me again" speech? Okay.
Yeah,
we played it on the show yesterday. Yeah.
I was not familiar with it, Albert. That's why we came up yesterday on the show. I had never heard that before.
Yeah. Albert, thoughts on this game? Golden Knights, Ducks.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely thought that you were going with the over here. Just kind of both these teams defensively are still kind of a bit of a tire fire. And I said the Ducks have gotten better, but there was legitimately nowhere for them to go. Like they were at the bottom of the league for a long time. Yeah, I agree with the Ducks play. I haven't bet anything here. I certainly would not be laying Vegas at this price. So it'd be Ducks or nothing. I just still think this is a really bad team. I mean, even I go to last night, like that to me is just a matchup thing. Like there are two matchups in the league that you pretty much just have to bet at the number the market gives you. And that's the Rangers versus Carolina. Carolina finally got one last week. And Vegas just has Edmonton's number over the last few years. Like I don't know what it is, but they just beat them every time, it seems like. I haven't bet anything here, but I certainly agree. It's Ducks or nothing, over or nothing.
I know this is like a prime, where I'd be in on the over. And like, I know that like this is typically a game where I'd bet over on in the past. I just want to, maybe the reasons that I'm not on this right now is I literally just don't trust the Vegas offense. And that's maybe a little crazy when you look at their, forward lines top to bottom, but like, they're just not generating a ton. You look at the last like 4 games, they've scored 4 goals or 5 goals or something like that. Like they're just not getting offense going. And then the Ducks have been better defensively, and they're getting great goaltending pretty much on a consistent basis. Doesn't matter who's between the pipes. So I just don't trust Vegas enough here on a back-to-back coming off that game to get on and over. And that's going to be like the worst clippable thing when Vegas scores 5 and I lose my Ducks bet and don't bet the over. Just the worst.
That is where I thought you were going.
And I understand all that. The only point I'd make back to that is Vegas has played a pretty decent slate of defensive teams lately, and the Ducks are anything but that. So I agree with kind of getting behind the Ducks, but like I struggle with the kind of, are the Ducks going to be able to slow Vegas down here?
So our best bets so far for today, we've got 2. Blackhawks money line plus 130, and we've got Ducks money line plus 140. This is the disgusting day. This is the disgusting Wednesday.
Yeah, we haven't had a disgusting one in a while.
Yeah, the only 2 bets of the day, Blackhawks and Ducks. Goal scored.
I wanted to address something quickly.
Go ahead.
Here. I saw this from Roldy where Boston steams instantly. It was like a 5-cent move. Fair enough. Yeah, they did. But like, I'm so sick of this fucking, like, yesterday you look at the like insane CLV on the two on like some of those totals, and the day before similar, or the day before the opposite, where the Rangers took a ton of money on that. We had the double best bet on the Devils. Devils, we ended up getting like minus 2% CLV. The Rangers got steamed like crazy throughout the entire day. They were taking money. We got a terrible number there. Didn't matter. Last night we got like 4% CLV on that Bruins over. Does not matter. It feels like the market agreements we've been getting lately has been significant, and when we do, it's just not going our way. So yeah, a 5-cent move the other way here does not concern me. I will say that. Also, I'm pissed we didn't get a chance to recap last night. Leaving out, I talked about how I wanted to fade. Leaving out that Sharks Caps under that I loved and just couldn't do it because of how was like, we knew that the second I didn't bet that was going to win, and of course do not have the stones to back the Penguins either, and Florida goes in and loses. So that was a frustrating 2-2 night where I feel like we should have done much better last night.
Also, who the hell is steaming the Rangers in any game they play against anybody right now?
Numbers wise, you get it. Like, if people are like clinging to their priors and like just expecting things, like, I think there's a lot of money in the market that's like just, which you get it, like they're just strictly looking at numbers and going off that, and they're just betting what turns out from the model, which, like, I can understand that. I add a lot of, all of us on the show add a lot more like from what we see. I think there's a lot of money in the market that does not do that though, and they're like, you know, whatever, this is a team that's just playing through something and they'll figure it out, and these are our numbers and this is what we're going to bet. So I do think there's a lot of that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, the Rangers are a tire fire.
Anytime goal scorer parlay to close this one out. Do we want to do a no? Just one no? We pick one guy no in each. I've got two here to start if we want. We got Matt Duchene and Charlie Coyle. This is courtesy of the BetStamp Pro tool. Those ones right away are standing out.
Yeah, that Duchene one really is. Yeah.
Yeah. We need one then in the Vegas game, and we need one in the Leafs game. I see. Let's see what we got here. We could do.
Oh no, we didn't.
We could just SGP as well. We could do SGP, like two in each. That could be a much more interesting way to go with this.
Okay, wait. There's I see some value here on the Marner no.
Okay. We'll put.
And then what's the other game we need? The Vegas game.
Yeah.
Might have to leave it as a 3. Yeah.
Zach, I don't think it lets you parlay no goals from the same game.
Okay.
See if it does. I don't think it does.
Well, we could go with the 3, and then we're at plus 114 here, anyways. And then that's the 3.
How did we do last night?
Together. I actually did not recap. I did not check. I should have done that. I will find out. And we can tweet it out.
No, I will. Yeah, that's fair. We'll do that.
This is what we've got for the.
It was Lindholm, Eichel, Strome, and Perfetti last night.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it hit.
Nice. There we go. We're rolling. That would be the second one that we've hit. Oh, we won it. Rob says we won it.
Yeah. No, Eichel. Yeah, I was pretty sure. It was going into the late. I remember the two early guys didn't score, and I couldn't remember if the late guys said, yeah, we did win it last night.
All right. So what we got for tonight? Duchene, Coyle, Marner. This goes to plus 114. Let's try to get another one under the belt here. Another no goal scorer parlay. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Again, our best bets: Blackhawks moneyline plus 130, Ducks moneyline plus 140. Yeah, Matthews pack, Marner never shooting again. Yeah, fair. Thank you to everyone who tuned in here today. We appreciate it as always. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. We will be back tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time for more picks and previews. Until then, enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.